Greetings, dears. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back with another episode of Chronic Wellness. So, the Americans with Disabilities Act, which passed 30 years ago, was in effect for 18 years. And during those 18 years, unfortunately, what happened was that based on a number of court battles that had happened, and particularly fights that went all the way up to the Supreme Court, the definition of disability had gotten very limited. And so in 2008, the ADAAA, the Americans with Disabilities Amendment Act, passed to address some of the unintentional consequences that all of those court decisions had had on how the ADA was being carried out. And with those updates was a broadening of the definition of disability so that more people would fit under the umbrella of who is disabled rather than this much more limited definition that had come about. And if you want to review, I will put in the notes which of my episodes I talk about the medical model of disability and the social model of disability, because those are really key in this conversation. The social or human rights model of disability, of course, stems from the idea that disability is a part of the human existence, the human condition, and that disability is functional in nature and something that we see in all species, not just in human species. And that much of what we think of as disability is about the systems, attitudes, and structures of society, making those of us who experience impairment be disabled. So I am not disabled because I am deaf. I experience disability because you don't know sign language and caption your videos. I am not disabled because I'm somebody who has schizophrenia. I am disabled because you have limiting beliefs about psychological difference. That is the way that we think about the human rights model of disability, that certainly there are impairments that affect these skin suits that we wear, and that most often those impairments are disabling because of what's happening to the system structures, attitudes, and beliefs in the society around us. And that the ADA really optimistically set out to try to change some of those, that when we put in curb cuts and when we put in push button door opening and when we start to include elevators in all of our multi-story buildings, that it increases accessibility for everyone, not just people who use wheelchairs. And that starts to play into the idea of universal access or universal design, which really benefits all of us. And the idea that I can disclose to an employer my disability, and that then the onus is on them to make changes to accommodate my disabling conditions, is radical, is such an incredible protection. Still doesn't make it easy, still doesn't mean it's simple, doesn't mean that there aren't problems with that system and that it's not still terrifying and difficult as a person with a disability to disclose, to make change, to overcome the attitudinal and systemic barriers that we still face. And important changes and the updates to the ADA in 2008 with the passage of the ADAAA, really, really significant. So I'm going to link to an article that I wrote on the Mighty just about this issue. So if you have more curiosity, more links there. And I will pick up here and continue a bit more about the ADA tomorrow. In the meantime, if you have questions or comments about the ADA or other things you want me to talk about here, I want to know about that. So sound off. If you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate your subscription and share this with other people. I am always honored when people find that this content is worth telling others about. And obviously, the name is Chronic Wellness for a reason. It's about the fact that whether or not our bodies are healthy, our spirits can find well. So I hope that you are prioritizing ways to do just that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing some time and attention here with me today. And until we're together again, be well.